UK muscle. Morning team. I was in a little bit of a funk last night. I was in a bit of a lull, feeling a bit suppressed. And naturally I made that video last night and put that one up. And I woke up this morning feeling a little more fresh, a little more open, a little more spirits lifted. And I took a look at that video and I thought, maybe I should get rid of that one. Maybe I should drop that one out, delete it, because it's quite negative, and it's quite, am I just complaining? Am I just self-pity? Like, what is this video? And then I thought, no, I'm going to leave it where it is, because let's keep things raw, and I like the truth, and I would rather just keep it there, and the truth is just what the truth is. There's no need to shy away from the truth or hide away from it. What happens, happens, and c'est la vie. People can learn just as much from the mistake as from the victory. So I'm going to leave that there. And so I wake up this morning and, like I say, feeling a little bit more energy coming in. But there's still some darkness, there's still some lowness, and just to sort of talk through what that's characterized by. I don't like to give things too solid a name, although many people probably would find a name for this, but for me, if I feel like my optimism has dropped out, I feel very pessimistic, if I don't have energy to, sort of no inclination to try and do the practical things that I know I should do, or that I know will help move my life situation forwards, such as staying on top of messaging, emails, staying on top of just the general practical, taking care of things, tidying up, things like that. Just no real inclination or drive or desire to do those things. A sense of that sort of low-lying anger, just bitterness, sort of frustration, just with people, with the world. That sort of feeling, just that kind of vague, not to any severe degree, but it's just there. It's just like a cloud of that sort of feeling. Call it what you want. I wake up, and although I slept okay, that's still there. Now, for the most part, every day is a new day, and if I have a bad day, get some sleep, wake up the next day, and it's not long until, well, whatever, that's just gone, and we just move on. So I wanted to do a video on what to do in those situations where it's not just past. It's not just clearing itself. It seems like there is something lingering around. And the key is this very interesting paradox where we need to be aware of what's happening. Aware of what's happening without dwelling. So we simply, and this is a sort of a spiritual approach to when we're in that low moment, is to simply become aware of what's happening. That's the first step. The very first thing, in terms of practical things that we can do if we've become aware of this and notice this, is firstly, perhaps it's not all that deep. Perhaps it's not that deep, bro. And we don't have to immediately run to like, something from childhood's been triggered, or, it's because my brain chemistry is all really sinking, or, I'm under some kind of demon attack, or a mind attack, or don't panic, because it might not be anything even close to any of that. And if we start trying to get into that sort of stuff, sometimes we create a problem that it's actually, no, that's an illusion, and we've got the wrong end of the stick on this. The very first thing to do is just tick off some of the practical boxes and just make sure that it's not just something really simple. It could well just be that you haven't drank enough water. It could well just be that you didn't sleep very well. It could well just be that you haven't eaten anything. Perhaps you haven't. When was the last time you got out into some fresh air? When was the last time you had a good conversation with a friend? When was the last time you did some meditation? When was the last time you took care of yourself? Just basic practical things. So just make sure, even like, maybe you wake up and you haven't even realised, like maybe the room is just too hot. But because you've slept all the way through that, you're just not really aware of it. And then just get some fresh air in and just wake up a bit. So we don't have to immediately jump into this panic about, oh God, what's happening now? No, I can't go back to being depressed or blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's not that deep, bro. I can't tell you the amount of times that that I'm like, oh God, I think I'm having like a mental health episode, and then I eat something and I'm like, oh, I feel fine now. Oh, I was just hungry. I thought I was getting depressed. It's like, no, I was just hungry. It's the same with like water. Sometimes you're purely just dehydrated. Sometimes that really is it. It's just not that big a deal. But obviously that's not always the case. And sometimes there is something that has, so particularly for me now, I tend to be, because I stay as aware as I can of the mood, again, without dwelling on it, just aware of it. Sometimes it's like, whoa, okay, this is a bit of a surprise, because this, like, usually there's some dark clouds, but they just kind of just pass and just, don't really need to get involved with any of that, just let it go. And they do, and they just drift on by, and then, hey, clear skies again. But sometimes it's this big, dark cloud that's just lingering. I don't know if you've ever, in the weather's just like the clouds are heavy and low, and it's like, oh, it's just going on forever. It's like that sort of feeling. So in that moment, what do? Panic. Get to the docks. Drink, self-medicate, eat, message people, get all like arguing, jump into social media, start arguing, saying it's the world's problem, like, no, it's society, that's what it is, it's society, it must be. No, don't do it. Don't do any of that. Just take some time to simply sit. And you don't even have to call it meditation, just give yourself 10 minutes. Because if we act from that place, if we act from the place of negative energy, your actions will be negative. But if you take a moment, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, to just sit and turn off all devices and just be with it. In Zen they call it sit in your pain. And there's many practices that do this. Interestingly, did you know most of the Psalms in the Bible are laments? So most of the Psalms, which are prayers in the Bible, are when people are saying, Lord, I'm hurting. Lord, I'm in a great deal of pain. Lord, this sucks. Please, please, can you help? And just, it's a way of sort of getting things off of your chest. So that's in that sort of tradition, but also in meditation. We're not trying to sit down and just create a wonderful feeling, because that just, your brain doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. We have to sit and just accept what is. And so in that acceptance of what is, we become incredibly aware of this dark mood that we might be under. And just don't get involved. Don't get involved. Just leave it. Now for me, it could have been anything really. Sometimes it could be somebody might have said something the day before, and it landed somewhere that maybe you weren't too aware of at the time, so unconsciously something bad's happening. Maybe it's purely physiological, just worn out, stressed, too much stress for too long, not had enough time to process it. Maybe it's just something like that. Maybe it is deeper. Maybe something from childhood has been triggered. Well, maybe it's brain chemicals. I don't know. But the suffering is caused from trying to run away from the pain. Suffering is caused by saying, I shouldn't be feeling this. Well, if that's how you're feeling, then that's how you're feeling. And just take some time to just sit with it, but don't get involved. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to hurry the clouds along. Don't try to fix and just make everything better, because it's not just going to that's not how it's going to pass. It just needs to take some time. Now, in that time and awareness, you will notice that naturally your insights arise that give you a better understanding of why this mood has arisen. You just gain a deeper awareness of what's going on in body and mind. And then from that point, from a place of stillness and a place of calmness, then we're able to take some action then to either rectify if anything's happening that needs attention, and if something does need attention, we're now in a better place because we can act from a place of calmness, we can act from a place of stillness and peace, in which case we're going to take much more considered and better action in order to rectify the problem. Or just the awareness just then starts to dissolve the problem itself. Just, oh, actually, there is no problem. It's just a mood. It's just a mood. That's all it is. It's just a cloud. It will pass. There's nothing that needs to be rectified. It just is something that needs some attention, and just leave it. Like bright sunshine on the morning mist. The mist can only, even if it's dense, it can only stay for so long. And the sunshine is the light of your awareness. And your awareness will clear the mist naturally. Just the awareness, just the awareness. If we're finding that difficult to just sit and observe and feel without getting involved, no, I need to do this, I need to say this to this person, I need to do this thing, I need to do that thing. If we're finding it difficult to just stay impartial and attached, there's this really cool mantra in Advaita, which is neti neti. I think it's originated with the Hindu, but I don't actually know that, so don't quote me on it. I think it originated in the Hindu tradition. Neti neti means not this, not that. And it's a way of staying as the awareness, and anything that we become aware of, we immediately say, I am not this. I am not that. And we can do this quite easily. You know, we just see objects. No, I should pick that up, but we see this. It's quite easy. I am not this. Easy. I am not this. I am not this. I am not this. I am not that. But then even just bringing that to an internal awareness, and any thought or feeling, just as this come up and I go, I am not this, I am not that, I am not that. Just as a thought might arise across the mind, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Because if you can be aware of your thoughts and feelings, then you are not your thoughts and feelings. You are merely the observer of your thoughts and feelings. There's an enormous sense of relief that comes with that. As somebody who experiences incredibly extreme moods, big highs and big lows, if I want to survive, I needed to find a way to deal with that, because if I'm always acting from emotion, I am subject to these huge highs and these huge lows, and if I'm just acting from those highs and those lows, then my life is going to be chaos, and I'm fed up with the chaos. So in order to live a life of peace, it's about finding a way to be able to disconnect from that and recognize that although I feel highs and lows, I am not the highs and lows. I am the awareness that observes the highs and the lows. So I wanted to do a more positive video today, because I watched that video yesterday. I was like, that's not you, man. That's not you, bruh. Cheer up. But it is what it is, and I keep it raw. Every day is a new day. That's the next part of that sort of neti process, is just understand it's all temporary. All temporary, no matter how dark the mood, no matter how low, frustrated you might feel, it's temporary. Nothing has ever come to stay, it has all come to pass. The worldly hopes men set their hearts upon turn ashes, or they prosper, and like snow upon the desert's dusty face. a light for a little hour or two, then are gone. Have a good day. Netty netty. Not this, not that. Give it a try. Give it a try. Let me know. Let me know how you get on with that. Thank you for watching. You still have time.